Aidan Booth here, co-founder of the Kibo Code, and I'm joined here today by one of our students, Vaughan, who is someone who came into the Kibo Code, I guess, about a year ago. And what I want to do with Vaughan is to learn a little bit about his experience, learn more about his journey, and share some tips, some things he's picked up that would help you succeed if you wanted to get into the world of e-commerce. So if you are someone who's watching this right now and you want to learn more information, you'll be able to find out more by looking at a link that we've got somewhere around, probably below this video. So Vaughan, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day, or I guess your evening. You're in Australia. Thanks for taking some time out of your evening to be here.
Yeah, no worries. Pleasure's mine. Thanks for inviting.
Now, just before we get into what you've been able to achieve, what's your background? I mean, what were you doing before you started? Or I think you still work a day job. Let's just talk about your background a little bit.
Yeah, sure. Look, I've been working in IT for about 20, 25 years now. And I still work in IT throughout the day. But I obviously always been interested in various opportunities, e-commerce, online types of businesses, whatever it is that I can do to build more wealth for obviously myself and my family. I've always been interested in doing that as well over the last 20, 25 years. Yeah.
And which part of Australia are you in?
Living currently in Sydney. So it's sunny Sydney.
And when did your e-commerce journey start? Like, when did you get started building, e-commerce stores and so forth?
Yeah, look, only recently, very new to that. It was it's probably something that hadn't really been on my radar, to be honest. So it was only really when my wife, of all people, I guess, suggested, hey, why don't you look into e-com and do some online types of businesses. You're in IT, why not? You should be good at it, kind of thing. So
no pressure.
No
pressure exactly. From the wife there.
No pressure at all. So look, she's always been very supportive of all these things that I've done. So so I jumped into it. Jumped into e-com about a year ago, and started the journey, the exciting journey, I must say. And learned a lot through the way.
So you came in a year ago. You've got a background in IT. Had you ever actually built an e-commerce store though?
No, I've never done anything like that before.
Yeah. And would you say that having a background in IT actually ended up helping you all that much, or was your
not? To be honest, probably not really. I don't think it's needed. There might have been a few little things that I probably just picked up a little quicker than maybe some people without any IT experience would have. But to be honest,
I remember when I was getting started with e-commerce stores, probably 15 years ago, we had to know how to do different types of coding and upload files to the web and all these things, which I know is not really IT, but it was still technical, and it was something that I really struggled with. Whereas, nowadays, it's pretty much streamlined and seamless, and I think it's much easier actually from a technical standpoint for people to get going these days. So I think that's been one.
Absolutely. Everything's done for you. Everything's done for you these days. You don't need to code or do anything. So,
yeah. Now, I know everyone's going to be wondering, you've been part of the Kibo Code for 1 year now. So you came in as our Kibo Quantum, our second class that we did early 2021. Over the past year, what's been, let's talk about some of the highs. Like, what's been your best day, give or take, rough ballpark in terms of, the revenue that you've had come into your business?
Yeah, look, probably my top day so far would be probably around 1,800, for the day. It was an interesting day, but so that's perfectly normal.
And have you been selling like all kinds of different products, or are you focused on a particular niche? How does that work?
Look, no, I'm not. I guess locked down to any particular product. I think doing what Kibo's system encourages you to do is to go out there and find a whole bunch of various products, and then you kind of you work out from that which ones perform better. So look, I've probably got in excess of 150 products that I've gone through over the past year or so. But realistically, to be honest, it's probably the top 10 or 15 are the ones that constantly sell. So it's just you focus on those ones.
Yeah, it's always the way. One of the great things that I like about the way that we approach e-commerce is that it does lend itself to being able to test lots of products, because if you don't want to, you don't have to pay a dime for getting products listed. Now, you can do paid advertising, but free traffic is certainly the way that we recommend people get started there. For someone who doesn't have any kind of an online background and are thinking, this sounds interesting, but I'm never going to be able to do it. Maybe they're someone that's struggled in the past or hasn't gotten things going quickly. What would you say to someone like that who's considering an opportunity like this?
Yeah, look, sometimes you've just got to put some faith in and just have a crack at it. And it's, in a weird kind of way, it's kind of what I did. I had my wife sitting. I remember when I was first discovering Kibo Quantum and going through looking at the webinars, and my wife was on the bed behind me. I was sitting on the desk with a laptop, had it up there. We're both going through it, and I just looked at her at the end of it, and she said, "Well, I believe in you. Just have a go. Give it a go." Yeah. So I thought, rightio. Well, if she believes in me, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to, no matter what whatever happens, I'm going to give it my best shot. I wasn't 100% confident at the time. I just thought, well, look, I've got to give it a go, and I've got to make it work. So I was committed to do whatever I could to make it work. There was lots of ups and lots of downs throughout the way, as I'm sure everybody has when you start out, especially when you're learning a new system. But I think it's just a matter of just having a go, having a crack at it, and just backing yourself, and probably stay in the race. There was, I do remember fairly early on, might have been in one of the weekly calls somewhere along the line, there was a graphic that come up where you showed the miner going through.
And it's like one knock away from finding the gold. Yeah.
That was the one. I remember that vividly when I saw it. I thought that's such an excellent, and at the time, I was the top guy, and I was just, almost going to give up. It's like, no, I'm not getting anywhere kind of thing. It's like, oh no, but I thought, no, I've just got to stay. I've got to stay in it. I've got to be that bottom miner that just goes through and finds it.
I think going through patches of adversity is something that every single person who ends up being really successful online goes through. I mean, with me, it was the same, especially when you're starting out. It's hard to believe or think that, you could be this guy that's making $1,000 a day online. It seems like a bit of a pipe dream, but the people, like, I never see someone fail if they just stick at it. And I don't know if someone's going to, be making money on an e-commerce store in 3 days, or if it's going to take them 30 days. But I do know that if they, persevere and just keep chipping away at it just a little bit, day after day after day, eventually every single hurdle or obstacle or roadblock can get smashed down. And the other thing I always like to do is just compare it to offline business. So I've had different offline businesses over the years, and I can tell you what, nothing compares to building an online business in regards to how quickly and things can get going, and then sort of scale from there. Have you thought about plans or objectives for the year ahead, 2022, things that, like, maybe a size that you want to get to in your business, or things that you want to add to your, add new strings to your bow, so to speak, different sales channels maybe?
Yeah, look, absolutely. Always keen on expanding and building on the foundation that I've already built. And I'm still, to be honest, I'm probably still not right through everything that was taught in Kibo Quantum. Like I haven't done anything with some of the strategies at the end, which definitely I need to get into. I've kept it fairly basic for now, and just kept it consistent. So I've built a really good platform. But now I think it's 2022, definitely time to expand, open up into different into more marketplaces. Try various other sales channels and what have you as well. But look, the free traffic has been great. But it's only one marketplace, right? So you want to expand. So that's definitely a goal for this year. I keep saying this to other people too. I haven't got around to doing it yet, but I need to get a VA.
Yes. That'll be a life changer for you. I mean, you work a full-time job. I mean, I can vividly remember I was working a full-time job in Auckland, New Zealand. Must have been around about 2005, and I got a VA starting to work on my business. And it was almost like an overnight thing where my business just took off. It just began to explode, because I would wake up in the morning and I'd had someone been working on my business, for 8 hours. And the beauty about those VAs is you can have them do something that's very task orientated. So it could be adding products to a store, or finding products, or, processing orders, or anything like this. And that's just, these are just operational tasks that are just so easy to outsource. So I think that's a really good objective for you to get onto sooner rather than later.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I've been talking about it for probably the last 2 or 3 months, and it's on the list, definitely. So,
one other thing, that you've mentioned that you've still got a few different avenues to go down with the past Kibo training that you've been a part of, and this is the beauty of e-commerce right now, is that there are lots of different ways that you can approach it. And what we do in the Kibo Code and Kibo Eclipse in 2022 is always try to lay out a path. The path of least resistance is what we call it, and that's what we think is the most streamlined path. So it involves having a store, which we help with, and then leveraging free traffic and selling products in different marketplaces. But in 2022, there are more marketplaces than ever, and you can sort of integrate into all of these from your store. So some of the ones that we haven't used a lot in the past, or haven't trained a lot on in the past, are things like Pinterest. We've touched on that, but we haven't really gone into detail. TikTok, this is enormous right now. Facebook shops, and then other massive marketplaces as well. Walmart is a big one that we're going to be, teaching people how to leverage in 2022. And look, if you're listening to this right now and you want to find out more information, check out the link below this video to find out what you can do, or where you can go to find out more information. Now, in terms of, is there any sort of recommendation around mindset? You've touched on this a little bit, but just what frame of mind does someone need to be in to be able to succeed at a program like the Kibo Code?
Yeah, mindset. It is important, and I must admit it's probably one of the things that I've been fairly strong at. And it definitely helps. Probably more so than having IT knowledge. I can definitely more so than that. Look, I must admit that the added extra bonuses that come through, the various things that you put out in the videos, in addition to the Kibo Code system, have definitely been instrumental to helping that. I mentioned it before with the miner. Just little snippets like that sometimes can be just a little gold nugget that you hear. I remember some of those Q&A calls that were, what do they call it, the office hours, where that Sean had there. Just sometimes you just get just one little thing out of them, and it's just worth sitting in there and listening to it for through that week, through that time, and you pick one thing up and you think, oh, okay, that's a good idea, and you just all that kind of stuff definitely helps. So the mindset, again, it's just that not giving up mentality that you kind of touched on before as well, and just keep going. You're going to have ups and downs. There was I remember another graph that you showed the graph, and it just had that wiggly line everywhere. Everyone thinks it's nice, a nice curve. Everyone
thinks that the path to success is like this. But as an entrepreneur, it's more like that. And as long as you, you sort of follow it and don't chip away each day, you can still get to where you want to go. I think one of the other things lessons you were saying there is just tune in, be present, go through the training that we provide, because you find those nuggets. Like you might think, oh, I don't need to watch this video about mindset. It's not operational, it's not strategic to what I'm doing with the plan, but then you get that one thing, like this analogy of a miner being just one hit away from the jackpot kind of a thing. And another analogy I sort of use with this is, you're throwing darts at a dartboard and you've got an unlimited supply of darts, and eventually some of those darts are going to hit the bullseye. And it doesn't matter if you're a seasoned dart player or brand new to playing darts, you're going to keep throwing those darts, and some of them sometimes are going to hit the bullseye. And I find that with products. I don't know about you, but the products that we sell in our stores, oftentimes the ones that turn into these home runs are the ones that I never would have sort of expected. But I've got enough of those darts, I just keep throwing them, or I should say my VAs, my virtual assistants, keep throwing them. And sure enough, some progress happens there. Have you found that with your products as well, that you've
all the time? It's funny. It's amazing how accurate that is. I've put products up there and you think there's no way anyone's going to buy that, and you just you think I'm wasting my time, but you put it up there and then boom, it just explodes. And you think, what how did that happen? And then I put things up there that I think, oh, this will be great, this will sell like hotcakes, this is awesome, like I'm going to buy one myself, and then and then nothing sells. You think, what are people doing?
And what I should have asked this at the very beginning, but what was it that sort of drove you? What's your underlying desire to build an online business in the first place? What is it that gets you putting in some extra hours outside of your day job to do this kind of a thing?
Oh, look, I'm obviously got a family. We want to support them and get ahead and provide all their little extra bits and pieces that they enjoy doing. All the fun stuff, like the holidays and what have you. But just building up that wealth and just being successful. It's probably not just, it's not one specific thing that drives me. It's probably just a combination of many things. Just that, I guess, that desire to succeed as well and do well, and combination of things. But obviously,
I think ultimately, for a lot of people, it comes down to the different types of freedom that we sometimes talk about. So obviously, financial freedom is a big one. But the thing about money, when I think the beauty about earning a lot of money is then you no longer have to worry about money. So it just opens up options, and that's a barrier that you can knock down pretty quickly, and you can reach this level of income from an e-commerce business. But then you start to realize, oh, okay, the money's great, but the thing that's absolutely golden here is the time. So like you, I've got kids, and I'm able to do with them as much as I want. I've got a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. So I'm really lucky in that regard. And then the geographic freedom. So throughout throughout 2021, I've been in New Zealand. We've got a holiday home in New Zealand, and I could move to New Zealand without skipping a beat. I've got an online business. Now I'm back in Argentina, and the machine just rolls on. So nowadays, financial freedom for me, or the money I've been able to make from my e-commerce business, is kind of the least of those three in terms of importance. Like you get that and then you've got it, but then you realize, oh, wow, time freedom is huge. Geographic freedom is huge as well. So I think most people relate to that. Well, Vaughan, I'm conscious of the time. I know it's late there in the evening. Anyone who is just a last comment from you, anyone who is maybe on the fence about this, they're not quite sure about jumping in, anything that you would share with them as someone who's been working through the program for the past 12 months?
Yeah, look, I've been in your position before. I've been on the fence. I didn't know whether I, wanted to go ahead with it or not. But I just thought, okay, sometimes you've just got to jump off that fence and give it a go. The only way you're going to know if you're going to make it work is just by giving it a go. Having a bit of faith, just back yourself. It it's if you follow the system as it's all laid out, the training is all there. It's realistically it's step by step, and you invest that time to go through and learn, and just go for it. As long as you back yourself, you'll be fine.
We do also just also for people listening to this, and you'll find out more by going to the link below this video. We do also make sure that we never put someone in a position where they're going to be potentially losing all of their money or anything. We've got a 30-day no questions asked money back guarantee, which I think if you follow the steps, it's not something that you'd have to use. But just to give people peace of mind, I know that it's a significant investment coming into this course, but hopefully, when people are on the inside, they find out that it's worth it. Vaughan, thank you so much for taking some time out of your evening. Really appreciate sharing your journey with people who are interested in building their own e-commerce business. So thanks so much.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Look forward to watching how your business grows throughout the year ahead.
Thank you. I'm excited too. Definitely looking forward to 2022.
Thanks, Vaughan.